Hello, 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 my lovelies, my baby kittens. We are here for another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live, and I will be right back in 20 seconds to give introductions. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So on tonight's episode, no set topic, but I was thinking that we could maybe get back into some tapping. I really find the emotional freedom technique, EFT, aka tapping, is a wonderful way to regulate ourselves, regulate our emotions, and get ourselves back to what the card slingers and I lovingly call baseline. We actually did have a new episode come out today for Card Slingers Coast to Coast, How to Be Baseline, which is episode 125. 125 episodes, guys. Like, thank you so much for listening to us, because without our listeners, we wouldn't be doing it. We would probably be just talking out in the ether. Which is what it feels like sometimes when you are podcasters, like talking and thinking nobody's listening, and then all of a sudden you are getting feedback like, oh, I'm on episode 33, or I'm caught up, I need more episodes now, please. It's kind of wonderful to not really understand the impact that you're making as you're doing it. And I feel like sometimes if we really thought about the impact that we were making at the time we're recording the episodes, we probably would get paralyzed with fear and not end up doing anything, which I think is a very real thing. So this week's episode is episode 125, How to Be Baseline, Card Slingers Coast to Coast. You can find it wherever you subscribe to your podcasts. Self-care is rule number 1 for getting back to baseline. Drink water, find community, limit your exposure to news cycles. If you can, go out and get sun if you can. Today, it has just been pouring all day long. I'm not sure if you can see it behind me, but it is rainy. But yeah, so that's our newest episode of Card Slingers Coast to Coast. And we did today it's been a long day of recording, folks. So we recorded another episode of Card Slingers Coast to Coast. It just so happens to be one of the Fridays that we have a new episode posted. So we recorded the 4 of Swords today. So that will be coming up soon. We released How to Be Baseline, episode 125. Melissa and I did our Insta reads live on the gram of Insta. And we are looking into possibly doing them on the two of you on our official Card Slingers Coast to Coast YouTube channel, which I believe is youtube.com/@CardSlingersCC. It's the same as our IG handle as well. So please go ahead and check that out. We had a couple of, so we answered a couple of questions using the cards, paid readings, $20 a pop, very, very well priced. For those of you who are thinking about getting a reading from Melissa or I, that's a great way to do it at an affordable price. And then we also answered some questions because there was a couple of newbie readers that happened to catch our live and was just like, what advice do you have for someone that's new to the tarot? And we're just like, I hope we didn't scare you. I hope we didn't fire hose you with information, because we did start to get a little bit deeper, and they're just like, oh, okay, like, is this English you're speaking? And I'm just like, oh crap. Pull it back, because we were talking a little bit about birth cards and year cards and making recommendations about that, and talking about like the numerology or the numbers that go on with tarot, the major arcana, the minor arcana. So we were just like, oh, rein it in, rein it in. We're getting a little too weird, a little too deep, too quickly. So we pulled it back, and we were just like, here's a couple of recommendations. And they were asking about, like, I'm getting, I can't remember what they said, but I was just like, I don't think memorization works. This is what I keep on realizing as I'm teaching more people, as I'm in my now 20th year of reading professionally. If I had the one thing that I would tell my 16-year-old self, if I could go back in time, before I started learning tarot, is, like, don't, like, the pressure to memorize, the pressure to use keywords, the pressure to read with reversals, like all of this pressure that I put on myself in order to consider myself a true tarot reader. I don't think memorization, in my humble opinion, I don't think memorization really works, or at least it doesn't work for everybody. I think we all have different learning styles, and I think there are some people are very susceptible, or they learn well by using like flashcards and memorization. And there are some learning styles that they don't. So that was the one thing that I really wanted to emphasize to some of the newer readers that were catching our Insta read session today. And they were just like, whoa, are you reading my mind? Because that's exactly where I'm frustrated. Like, I'm having a lot of frustration around that. And I'm just like, that's because I don't think memorization truly works for everybody. You have to really cater to your learning style to be able to fully absorb, really understand what the tarot is saying to you, forge a personal connection with your deck, read the what the cards are saying, basically, like, what is the scene in that particular card. Now translate that into the question that you asked. Like, okay. And then you can kind of get a sense of like, oh, okay, this is what this tarot card is trying to tell me at this moment about this particular situation that I asked about. I think memorization can be helpful, but not for everybody. So now I will step down from my pedestal. So Katie is here. Hello to Katie. Welcome. So yeah, we did talk a little bit about recommendations for newer readers. I, of course, recommended How to Read Tarot, which is my first book, probably not my last book. And Melissa recommended her book, Kitchen Table Tarot. And we recommended also listening to the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast from the beginning. And we're slowly going to get through every single card. We're currently recording the fours right now. And I think we just released, prior to the How to Get to Baseline episode, we talked about wrapping up the threes and getting a reading from Melissa, in which she read with the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, and the threes of the Minor Arcana. And read with that thin little deck, and read us to filth, as usual, as is Melissa's way. So that's basically what's going on in my world right now. A lot of recording, a lot of recording, a lot of tapping behind the scenes, emotional regulation, that sort of thing. And then also, of course, working with the Deck of the Month for Card of the Day polls, the Tarot Disassembled. We did the unboxing for that. Gosh, was that just last week? Folks, was that just a week ago that we did the unboxing of the tarot disassembled, it feels like so much longer. I feel like I've been working with this deck like forever. Hey, and Sophia is here. Hello, hello to Sophia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, so yeah, I'm the more that I'm working with this deck, and I know it's only been a week, um, the more I'm thinking that you might want to get both the deck and the guidebook. I think they're really, really helpful together. So, oh, Sophia says, just finished teaching my tiny students. What were you teaching them today? I would like to know. Katie says, memorization doesn't always help you see the symbolism in the card, which jumps out of you in regards to the query. Yeah, and that's something that I recommend people look out for. Like, where is your eye being drawn to? What symbol is your eye being drawn to? What stands out for you? Because that can help to guide your interpretation of that card for that particular situation. And I feel like decks like the Simple Tarot, decks like the Tarot Disassembled, that is all about the symbology and breaking down the symbology of the tarot cards, like card by card, symbol by symbol. I think that these kinds of decks really lend themselves to that kind of way of interpretation, like looking at the symbol or the symbol that stands out for you, and allowing that to guide your interpretation and your understanding of that card. Sophia says, flute lessons. So you're learning how our muscles work, which is really hard to explain to hyperactive 9-year-olds. I would say so. Yeah. I have my flute that I got in the 4th grade that I had to have. I didn't want to rent it. I wanted to buy it. And by me buying it, it meant my parents buying it. And I was a little shitty kid, just like, no, I want it. I want to keep it. I don't want to have to give it back. And now I still have it because my mom kept it. So now I have my flute that I got when I was in the 4th grade sitting in my my ottoman in my living room, which is also a container as well. Like the lid opens up and you can store a bunch of stuff in there. So with my board games and my copy of Cards Against Humanity, all like 6 editions of them, that is where my flute is. Yeah. Yeah. So like remember back then? I mean, you are younger than me by 2 decades, but so I don't know if they were doing that. But I mean, the idea of communal woodwinds ekes me out. Yeah. You can you can sanitize them, but still. Yeah, I feel like it's more of the idea of it rather than the actual germs. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really think about when I was a kid and like thinking about like where I went swimming and slap some dirt on it, you'll be fine. Like I don't know, I survived my childhood, so I guess everything worked out. But yeah, Sophia says kids are sticky. Yes, they are. So yeah, for tonight's episode, I was thinking about maybe doing a little bit of tapping kind of around like what everyone's feeling right now, what everyone might need. So, keep that in the back of your mind as I'm, shooting the shit. But we are still working with the Tarot Disassembled. I finally was able to post today's card of the day, which is the King of Swords. It took me a while. I was fighting with my phone most of the time, but I finally posted it. So it's done. And on IG, there is a little bit of a blooper because I went blah, 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 on the first recording. So there's a little bit of a blooper there just on IG. I couldn't replicate it on other platforms. So, Sophia says, and they have banned after lunch. Blech. Oh no. I'm just getting like visions or that scent memory of like peanut butter, like after a peanut butter, like playing flute after a peanut butter sandwich. Like that's a lot of peanut butter scented air, and I'm making myself sick just thinking about it. By the way, if you are seeing people soliciting for, contact me for a reading, I'm drawn to your energy, please go ahead and block and ignore and ban and, you know, do whatever. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Clearly this is the price of marginal fame, right? Yeah. Sophia says spammer be gone. Correct. So yeah, I've been, oh, thank you for putting on your moderator hat, Sophia. So yeah, in my notes, so I've been taking notes about like when I've been doing tapping sessions, when I've been listening to different audios or subliminals. I've been taking notes. And actually my notebook is open to the year card calculation for the year 2025 for both my husband and myself, because we're talking a little bit about that on the IG readings today. And so I was just like, I can't remember if it was a hanged one year for me or not. But then I went back into my notes and I saw like, nope, that's correct. It's the hanged one for me. It's the chariot for him. So that's different energies, conflicting energies, perhaps. So we might be going nowhere fast, folks. Yeah, Katie says, yes, I had that problem with someone expecting to borrow my chromatic harmonica. Eek. Ugh. Ugh. Sophia says, you are brave, friend. Yeah. So yeah, my notes are turned to that particular calculation that I calculated back before the beginning of 2025 in November. So, oh, and then I'm flipping back even further, and I'm realizing that a I did a session on trusting your intuition or learning to trust your intuition, like a tapping session on trusting your intuition and like being guided by the High Priestess card. So we can always do that, but think about what do you need most right now? Do you need stability? Do you need encouragement? Do you need me to light a fire under your ass? Tapping can do all of these things and more. It can't necessarily solve all your issues for you, because I think you are your own magic wand, and you kind of have to do that for yourself, but it can certainly help you too. So let me turn to my notes. Let me turn to my notes for today. So today I did an audio on main character energy or main character code through the Vortex, which is my tapping teacher's membership, Gala Darling. So I did one of her like hype audios for like embodying main character energy and stepping into your main character energy. And then I listened to our newest Card Slingers episode that just went live today, How to Be Baseline. And then after that, I just did recording. So, it's been a lot today. So Sophia says, what? It won't water my crops and pay my taxes? How dare? As I like to say, the paudacity. I follow a lot of animals on social media. I follow more animals than people, actually. Yes. So we're experimenting with that new logo, Sophia, for Card Slingers Coast to Coast. We're trying to step into a different, I guess, visual story, because I don't know, it's too brown and gray for us, the old logo. And I mean, while obviously the moon and the stars that are part of our original logo are, I mean, this is real, folks. This is not a temporary tattoo. It's a permanent tattoo. So that's always going to be on my body. But I think we had that logo created before we knew who we were as podcasters, as the combination of the three of us as podcasters. So now we're kind of like, does this really represent us? Does this really look like us? Like, does it really symbolize who we are? And we're all, we're not all entirely straight either. So, having a bit of a rainbow in our logo, it makes sense. I slapped that one together through Canva. So it might go through different iterations, but it felt good to switch things out for card slingers. So if you are new to this particular live stream, hello and welcome. We have three main pillars of the live stream, which is, first of all, astrology, astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it helpful in planning both my personal and my professional life. So we start out the episode with the overall astrology for the week, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I don't want to take away from Teresa Reed. She's the astrologer, and this is a paid subscription that I cite. So I don't want to give away the farm. I just want to give you a taste of what she does. And if you like it for yourself, you can purchase it at thetarotLady.com/astrobizdigest. $99 subscription for the year. So it's astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It's fantastic. We quote from it all the time, every week. Then in the middle of the episode, we'll do the mid-episode reading, in which one lucky viewer can win a 3-card reading with me for free live on the broadcast. So that's coming up shortly. Let me make sure I'm doing my little stay tuned below, my little crawler here, just to remind people. And then we will finish up with the weekend forecast, which is either a tarot card or an oracle card, 1-card pull to bring us into the energy of the weekend, prepared and not scared. So if that sounds good to everyone, give me a hell yeah in the chat. We'll start off with the astrology. Sophia says, I dig it. Alphabet Mafia represent. So first of all, here's the astro weather from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. Again, $99 for a year-long subscription. Astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. And the link to that will pop up right about now. It's in the chat if you want to follow it there after the broadcast. Fran also has crept in. So Fran is saying hell yeah to the astrology. So is Sophia. Welcome to Fran. Nice to see you. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the astrology on my phone so that I'm not leaving the tabby tabs. I'm going to assume that everything is broadcasting correctly. I didn't do my normal tech checks before I just dove right into it, because I have a hard stop before 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, because that is the first, I'm not sure if it's a class. I think Gal is calling it an immersion, and it's called Being Magnetic AF. And so I'm looking forward to attending that live, because I don't think I'm going to be able to attend days 2 and 3 live, but I am going to be able to attend the first one, which is tonight. So I have to make sure I'm a hard stop at 7:30, which sometimes has been a problem because sometimes I'm having too much fun on this live stream and I just keep going and going. And I'm just like, oops, how do we do that again? 2 hours again? I think we're going to stick with an hour-long episode. I'm holding myself to this. Where's the wood that I can knock on? Okay, good. All right. So astrology of this week, and also I did have a cheesesteak tonight. I had a very decadent dinner tonight before I got on here, so I have been fed and fed well, but having cheesesteaks 2 nights in a row, my stomach is not happy. So we'll see how far we get into this episode before my body rebels and I'm just like, I think we're going to have to wrap up a little bit early. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But my stomach is definitely rebelling on me right now. Whew. TMI? Possibly, yes. Probably. Oh, okay. All right. Sophia says you're good so far. Katie said YouTube notified me. Nice. And Fran's waving. All right, we're good. Okay, we're good. So, um, forecast for May 5th through the 11th of 2025. We are definitely in Taurus season right now. And there's a little bit of advice on working with the cosmos versus against it. Um, a question, so this is from Teresa. A question I get often asked is, what if I cannot do the suggested tasks at the time you recommend? It's a good question. Here's the deal. When you work with the energy of the cosmos, you're swimming with the currents. That means an easier ride and better results. But sometimes it's not always possible. You have to buy a computer during Mercury retrograde, or your newsletter needs to go out at a certain time every week, or your book is published during an unfavorable moon phase. It happens. If you find yourself in a situation like that, it's best to prepare as much as possible. That might mean getting an extended warranty for the computer or having a just in case plan for a book launch drama. Even just being aware of the energy will help you leap into action in worst case scenarios. Be prepared, not scared. That's why I say prepared and not scared when we do the weekend forecast. I get that from Teresa. You may not be able to micromanage every detail of your business because you know what? No one can. But you can navigate better with a map by your side. So the astrology for this week, one major change. Practical thinking is in when Mercury saunters into Taurus on the 10th. So that would be tomorrow. Common sense goes a long way, so plant your feet on the earth before making decisions. Does it make sense? If it doesn't, take a pass. This transit favors grounded communication as well. Keep it humble and you'll make a grand impact. Less bluster, please. Mercury rides high into favorable Gemini on the 25th. So that means that the sun's going to be in Taurus. So the sun is already in Taurus. We're in Taurus season. But it also means that Mercury is going to be in Taurus starting tomorrow as well. Yeah. Not being able to micromanage is hard. It sure is. That's true. That's the darn truth. All right. So for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, today, Friday, May 9th, 2025, Friday's cosmic weather is clear, which means today is yours for artsy endeavors, spicy PR campaigns, networking events, or community gatherings. Enjoy. Today is a power day for Libra and a weekday for Aries. So wah-wah for your fellow neighborhood-friendly tarot reading Aries. So for Saturday is tricky AF. The moon is void as the day begins, which means it's better to focus on work already in motion rather than starting new things. Mercury rolls into Taurus at 8:15 a.m. We already just talked about that. At 3:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon finally heads into Scorpio, which is your best lunation for top secret projects, meetings, research, budgeting, and strategy sessions. It's here all weekend, so dive in and go deep. The aspects are not business friendly. A Moon-Mercury opposition at 5:15 p.m., followed by a Moon-Pluto square at 11:42 p.m. Nah, it's too funky for profit. Best to bury your head in behind-the-scenes activities. So that's for Saturday. Sunday morning is clear, but the afternoon turns argumentative when the moon squares Mars at 1:39 p.m. Plus, it's Mother's Day. Well, at least it's Mother's Day here in the United States. Forget about business and take your mother figures out for brunch. Saturday is a power day for Libra and a weekday for Aries, much like Friday. And Sunday is a power day for Scorpio and a weekday for Taurus. So at this time, since we've done Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and like the main transit of the week, which is Mercury into Taurus tomorrow, does anyone have any questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday astrologically? I will take a peek see at the Astro Biz Digest for you. And my stomach is rebelling. So if you happen to hear my stomach going, hopefully not, because I did turn on, gosh, where's the setting? Reducing background noise. I did turn on that setting, so hopefully it will reduce the noise that you hear from my growly stomach. Making sure to drink my water too. Katie says, nothing for me. Okay. Yeah, the only thing that I can think of that I particularly looked at this week was obviously today, which was pretty clear, except for being a weekday for Aries. But then I was also looking at Monday. And Monday was, I think that the Monday moon was in Virgo. Editing, tidying, detail oriented activities. So I really leaned into that. I did a lot of cleaning and organization on Monday. So, all right. Well, if there's no takers, that's totally fine. So, what do we want to tap on? Because I feel like tapping could really be beneficial right now. Again, if you're not sure what I mean when I say tapping, it's the emotional freedom technique. It's a combination of acupressure and positive psychology. You tap along on the points and then you repeat out loud after the tapping practitioner. You can also do this modality for yourself. Once you know the points and you kind of have a sense of how to phrase things, like you can do this for yourself. And if you have any further questions, I have a couple of videos up on my YouTube channel, and I think two playlists, requested tapping videos, in which I take your tapping topic requests and create a tapping session on it, and then also just I think tapping videos from different practitioners. Or it could just be a brainstorming session on what tapping videos you'd like to see coming up in this on this platform. Whichever way you're tuning in, whether you're tuning in on the Tube of You or the Book of Face, I'm open to suggestions because there's tons of things that I've worked on my own tapping practice. Like I feel like tarot and tapping are such similar, they're not similar modalities, but they do have a personal and then a public component to them where it's just like you have to, I feel like you have to learn how to read tarot for yourself in order to be then able to read tarot for other people. And I think the same thing can be said with tapping. I think you have to use tapping personally and tap on your own issues and learn how to do that for yourself and regulate yourself before then doing tapping for other people and leading other people through tapping sessions. Now, I have my tapping certification through the Gallo Darling method that I received about 3 years ago, 3 years ago in April. So it's been a while since I've been a certified tarot practitioner, certified tapping practitioner. But I do find that even when I'm not working with clients in that capacity, I tap every single day. I pull tarot cards every single day and I tap every single day. So some of the things that I've been working through lately, I have, there's a playlist that I've been working through Gala Darling, that is on, I think it was Opening Your Heart was the playlist. And so it has different tapping sessions that are around that theme. So what did I do yesterday? The one that I did yesterday was I can do less and attract more. The one I did the day before. I'm sorry, I'm like shifting around here because my stomach is like really hurting me right now. I might have to wrap up soon. Let's see. You are meant to stand out. Allowing people to be who they are. That was a tough one. Doing less and attracting more. Yeah. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to go. This is not great, but my stomach is really not happy with me. I apologize, but this is pretty bad. So I think I'm just going to have to wrap it for tonight. No weekend forecast because my body is literally telling me it is time to release. So that might be a sign that I've been doing a lot more tapping than I even anticipated. So I will definitely table this and look at that comment and create a tapping session because this is really good. Is there a way of tuning more into the logical mind and calming the emotional response to annoying situations? Yes, for sure. And I will see you guys next time. Sorry. Bye.